Welcome everybody back to another episode of Two Fat Guys and One Dream. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman and Scott. As always, I'm joined here by my father, Scott Steen, on this beautiful Father's Day. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, bud? I'm just looking at your setup there. Years ago, they had recordings of Richard Speck, who was a mass killer, and he was in prison in Illinois. And they had like recordings of him like doing cocaine and smoking weed in like some weird room in the prison. That's what that room reminds me of. I know this is a poll that no one else will get but me. But you look like I know you're at your new place. You don't have everything set up. We got to explain to everybody this is not the permanent setup. You just moved yesterday, and you're so
right.
This is
everybody gets the first episode. This is the first episode of any show at the new spot. And,
your handheld like you're going to do an action man on the street type interview.
Yeah, right.
You're ready to rock and roll.
The mic stands come tomorrow. We'll actually have the AC turned off eventually. Yeah, it'll be good. We'll really be almost a legitimate recording studio of sorts in this basement. But for now, you guys get a little bit of prison Truman. Honestly, not a flattering angle. The more I look at this, the more it makes me want to sit up and have actually good posture. So
lounging Truman.
Not my best look. There you go. That's for everybody's sake. All right. Welcome everybody into Two Fat Guys in a Dream. This week, we're having a little Father's Day episode. Hey, happy Father's Day, Scott.
Thanks, buddy.
Just before we get too much, Scott. Yes, happy Father's Day, Dad. Thank you.
We did have a Father's Day lunch together after a fitness start. We literally sat 30 minutes at a restaurant and no one acknowledged us.
No, maybe probably one of up there with one of my worst service stories where we sat down is BB's Lawn Side. I'm willing to say it, I'm willing to, they don't pay me to go eat there. So, not yet, at least.
There is a small caveat because when I told Mom the story, she said, "Don't you have to order at the counter?" Which is the same question I asked when I walked in. You guys assured me we did not. So
no, man. People are bringing food and drinks. No, man. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Anybody take an order?
I swear I saw people take orders. Somebody paid the check at the table. There's no way you're paying the check at the table if you're ordering at the counter. If you are, then that's insane.
That's a good point.
There was a signed check, a signed receipt on the table when we sat down.
I will say, even if we were supposed to go to the counter, the fact that, number one, the table wasn't cleared for about 20 minutes until you cleared it, and no one made eye contact. If you're supposed to order at the counter, as somebody swinging by like, hey, I don't know if you guys knew or not, you got to order at the counter whenever you're ready. That's all you need. But yeah, you got none of that. And actually, didn't you have somebody say they'd be back after a while?
We had like 2 or 3 odd interactions where like Tina was like, hey, can we get somebody to clear out the table? They're like, yeah, just a minute, I'll be back in a second. And then somebody else, I think Tina got another person they're like, yeah, I'll be back. Or like the guy came and picked up the check. He said, have you guys been helped yet? And we're like, no. And that guy just never came back. We saw him a couple times. He made eye contact with me right as we were walking out after he'd already been sitting at the table for 40 minutes. And I was just like shaking my head. I was like, I don't know, man. And then he just walked out anyway. So whatever.
Fair enough. Again, I don't make a big deal. We had a fine lunch. We found another spot. We went to Meet Mitch.
Yep.
Kansas City barbecue place I'd never been to.
It's pretty new.
It was good. It was good. It wasn't Joe's, but it was good. Had a little burn-ins. Had a little rib. Very tasty. Good Father's Day. Had a lot of fun. So
we're a big Slaps family though. Also, so just everybody's learned a lot about barbecue.
Slaps.
Slaps. Scott, how does barbecue, I guess, this week I did the dad diet. We'll get into our normal rhythm here in a minute. How does like barbecue and stuff like that fit into the dad diet, as we're calling it?
Not bad, as long as you don't avail yourself of side dishes. If you have a lot of side dishes, it's going to be a problem. But as long as you can keep the side dishes to a minimum, you're fine.
Nice.
So that's the key, is keeping the fries, the beans, potato salad, yeah, everything, the bread, if you have a sandwich.
The extras.
But if you want to have barbecue, it's really fine. In fact, we went to Joe's on Friday night. I had a combo with turkey and burnt ends. I ate half a piece of one piece of bread, and maybe 4 or 5 of Mom's fries, and ended up losing almost a pound that day. So,
I mean, I saw you not eat any bread today. I know you passed along your Texas toast to us down at the other end of the table.
Yep, and I did order fries. Had a few fries. It helped they were cold. They came out and they were kind of warm, and we were kind of in a cool spot, and they cooled down quickly. So, I had no problem leaving half a bag of fries there.
Fair enough.
Did like the beans, had some beans. I did have a soda, so it wasn't the perfect meal. It certainly wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Right.
So anyway, it was a good time. It's all about the camaraderie. You gotta leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room for special occasions like that. So
absolutely, their appetizers, their wings, honestly incredible, which was kind of interesting.
Some of the best wings I've ever had. They're not quite to the peanut quality, but probably the second best wings I've had in the city. Very meaty. You get the drummy, you get the flat on each wing. So that's fair. Very solid.
Interesting.
But you know what? This is more of a show for grub buds. This is about us not eating food like that.
Right.
So, Truman, you wrapped up the 2 weeks on the dad diet. You've got 2 more diets to go, and then we're gonna figure that out after that's 20 weeks. You have 10 diets under your belt. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do then. But
absolutely.
Let's recap the dad diet, and just a review for anybody joining us for the first time. Dad diet is the plan that I'm on. It's a low carb, low sugar diet. Not quite as extreme as your Atkins or your keto or something like that. We allow ourselves somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 grams of carbs and less than 20 grams of sugar.
Right.
Really, that's really about the only parameters.
Yeah.
Everything else just kind of takes care of itself.
So for that, we'll talk about kind of my personal health week on the diet. So again, we started off this journey for the people that haven't watched. We started out, I was 281.5 on the recording of the first episode. Our goal weights here, we both have our goal weights at 200. My weight loss goal obviously being 81.5. This week, Scott, I weighed in at 254.4. I lost 1.3 pounds, which is 1.6% of our goal that we're trying to lose of the 81 pounds. Brings me to a total. I've lost 33.25% of the goal. I'm like, if I would have lost, I don't know, you're
0.2,
yeah, 0.2, right? Yeah, I would have been a little closer. I would have been 1/3 exactly. Yes.
It's like all the best records were 33 1/3, buddy.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's fantastic. So what did you lose total on the dad diet?
Dad diet 3.6 pounds, which is good. That's, I mean, when we look at where we were before, we're in a much better spot, obviously. I mean, so for people that missed it, they'll miss the last 2. Before this diet, we did, oh, God, which diet did we? It wasn't, we did the d.a.s.h diet.
The d.a.s.h diet, right, the low sodium.
Yeah, it's for lowering your cholesterol or your blood pressure. One of the hard things. I lost 0.3 pounds in 2 weeks. It was not good. I was kind of plateauing. We had an episode we talked about reinvesting ourselves. And for my credit, I will say I have really doubled down. I really invested. Hell, new gym membership started today. With the move, I don't have access to the apartment gym anymore. And honestly, I would have lost more weight even. But believe it or not, our apartment gym, like the roof caved in, or like it started to leak and water was everywhere. And so I didn't get to work out like Wednesday or Thursday because of that. So I did go to
another half a pound, third of a pound, something. You would have been 33 1/3 if you got to work out those days.
I probably would have been about 254, if not under. But instead, here we are. No excuses.
Congratulations on absolutely leaving your plateau in the dust. Yes. Sometimes you break through a plateau and you just snap back the next week and you're right where you were. So congratulations on putting that in the rearview mirror. I would call you officially off of that plateau, and I think I'm officially off of mine as well. So we've had some positive results.
Absolutely, Scott. You, for the people that haven't, you start at 332.3. Your target weight also 200 pounds, which is a weight loss goal of 132.3. Up to today, now with weighing in at 305.8, like you did this week, you lost 1.3 pounds. That's 0.98% of your goal, about 1%. You've lost 26.5% total, which brings you to just over 20% of your goal. So congrats, you're 1/5 of the way there. How do you
26 and a half pounds? Yeah, 20% of the way there. Yeah, exactly.
right? So
You said percent for both, but yeah.
sorry, with
That's all right.
with being 20% there, with being 1/5 of the way there. I mean, how are you feeling?
Good, good. Much better. We talked about heart rate a couple episodes back. Heart rate just plunges, even with just being conscious of taking 7,000 steps a day. You know, not even anything ridiculous. My heart rate just plunged. I don't know, 78 to 60, so about almost 25%. My resting heart rate has gone down, so I think that's a good thing. Sleeping a little better, and I noticed, obviously I don't get since I'm walking a bit, I don't get winded walking places. We can walk 2 or 3 blocks and not have to stop 4 times. So yeah, I'm happy. I wish the results, kind of were coming faster in a way. I feel like I wasted about a month of getting sick because I had the huge
Yeah,
weight loss,
right.
and then I just tried to dig out for the next 3 weeks. I feel like I'm finally back on track. The engine's running at full speed, so
Right.
I'm good. I feel good.
As people can see here, you were at 301.8, episode 14. That was when you got sick. Before that, you were at around 307.8, I want to say.
Right.
And so you
Right.
had lost 7 pounds. Oh, yeah, it says it right there. You're at 308.8, sorry. And you had lost 7 pounds in 1 week. So, I mean, luckily you never went back up over that. But, and again, if we talk about it, 308.8 to 307.1 in 3 weeks isn't bad, especially 4 weeks to 305.8. 3 pounds in a month is still pretty good. But I do believe that if you wouldn't have had to deal with the sickness, regaining the weight, the water weight, all that stuff, I think, and obviously you lost your workout routine, right?
That's what it did. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a slippery slope guy. And if I miss 1 day walking, 2 days walking, I'm sliding down the slope. So to take an entire week off, pretty much from my walking regime, really, it really set me back. But enough for excuses. Back on track. We're going full bore. So let's rate the dad diet. We've got some criteria that we use for each of the diet. Let's get rolling.
Hey, grass still grows on Memorial Day, Scott. Okay, so the diet recap.
What does that mean? All right.
Hey, it's the saying. It's the 2 fat guys in a dream saying. Everybody loves the saying. Everybody knows it. Everybody says the grass still grows on Memorial Day. We've got T-shirts in the works. Hats are coming. Stickers for sure. So
did we say that at some point?
I created this saying. I kind of created this saying. So remember we talked about it on Memorial Day. Me and you talked about this. Remember, I was just talking to my buddies, and they said, and they have the lawn business, and I asked them, "Hey, are you guys going to take off Memorial Day?"
Oh,
and they said, "No, man." They said, "No, the grass still grows on Memorial Day." And I said, when we were reapplying ourselves, I was talking about how we were making excuses. I said, I'm moving, I've got this stress, I've been taking the PE, I did all this stuff. So I said, sometimes there is excuses, there are reasons to not keep going, but the grass still grows on Memorial Day. So here we are, Scott.
Grass still grows on Memorial Day, baby. So yeah, it's good. All right, so let's go through the criteria. How'd you rate everything?
How would I rate the dad diet? Your diet, Scott. Honestly?
Right. And I think this is a good chance. This is a good opportunity to remind people. I've kind of been playing with this for a couple of years. I haven't been full bore on it, but I've kind of been conscious. I topped out 2 years ago at 382. So I am down 77 pounds from my heaviest 2 years ago, July of 2021. I was 382. So I have had some success with this diet, other than the 20-something that we've lost this round. So
absolutely,
I just want to throw that in there.
No, and that's absolutely proof is in the pudding right there for sure. I mean, it is a proof of concept, and that's why we're here doing it now.
I'm gonna write the book. I'm writing the book. I'm writing the book, dude. I'm writing.
Are you gonna do it?
Hell
yeah! Hell yeah!
Obviously, I have to get to my goal, because a fat guy going, well, I'm not quite as fat. That doesn't really sell many books. So you got to
But
have
it
that
should. It
dramatic.
should sell more books. That's more realistic for what people want. That should sell plenty of books. But it just. But I get that it
You've
won't.
got,
Yes.
you've got to have that dramatic before and after, man, and that's fine. I'm ready to take that after picture for sure. Stand in a pair of my pants with the waistband stretched wide and everything. So
Right.
anyway,
We've all seen the photos. We all know the photos. Yes, absolutely.
let's review that diet.
All right, let's review the dad diet. How did I do it? A young person, not a dad. I
Not a
hope,
dad.
not a dad on Father's Day.
Not that I know of.
Oh God, I hate. No. I almost said that. But I was like, I don't even want to half jinx
Right.
any dumb stuff into that.
Right.
Yes, no, not a dad on, but am doing the diet. Scott, I really enjoyed the dad diet. What I will say is we talked about reapplying ourselves. I talked about what I struggle with is a lack of, strict diets. Sometimes when I'm plateauing like I was, I realized that I needed to get back on a strict diet. And maybe not quite keto. This is in a way keto light. It's a sustainable keto that isn't I know people
Exactly how I would describe it. Yep.
there's studies happening with keto about cholesterol and how it's even bad for like the environment. There's a lot of it helps short term. It is good for short term losses. If you have 3 weeks to lose weight and you want to do it in a somewhat sustainable manner, I guess I would recommend keto for that. But I will say I had plenty of friends who lost what.
If you're 15 pounds away from fitting into that dress or fitting into that suit, keto's your friend. If you can stick
Right.
to it for 21 days, you'll probably drop 15 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, what I think it was the first diet we did on the show, and in 2 weeks I lost like 7 or 8 pounds. But
Right, and again,
especially if you aren't doing a diet leading into that. Yeah.
and you even had a couple of Truman weekends thrown in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You
So
busted yourself into ketosis and yeah.
right. Yeah.
So this
But-
diet is designed to keep you like right over the line of ketosis.
Right.
So you don't have to mess with the pea strips and to find out if you're in ketosis or not. That's not. We're just limiting the carbs. We're trying to cut out crappy carbs. We're cutting out everything white, like rice, pasta, anything with unbleached wheat flour.
Yeah.
Any kind
Right.
Of,
Yeah. Bleached
shitty
wheat
bread.
flour. Yeah.
We're cutting that out. We're cutting out and sugar. Sugar's the biggie.
Sugar's
I'm
huge.
convinced that sugar is the devil, and that's why carbs are the devil because they convert into sugar and you can't process it fast enough.
Well, the sugar industry is one of the industries that funded the demonizing of fat in the American
Yes.
psyche. So,
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. So we're going to test that theory these next 2 weeks, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So finally, I'll shut up. Let's review the diet.
Okay, so for the dad diet, again, we talk about as we do. We're finishing up. We're putting a cap on our 10 diets here. We've got 2 more diets we're going to do. We're doing low fat. We're going to do a raw one here coming up. But as I learned, I need structure. I need discipline, and that was good with the dad diet. It gave me something to shoot for. I have 80 carbs. That's how many carbs I have. I have only up till that, and I got to lose them. But also, limiting the carbs is it's such a recipe for success. And I don't think you have to have no carbs. Somebody, Sawyer, my twin sister, for context, people who don't know Sawyer, I doubt there's too many people watching this show for me and you who's never heard of Sawyer ever, But Sawyer was texting me about she has a friend who was telling her that she's on a no carb diet, and I was like, listen, even if she says she's on a no carb diet, everything has one carb. A lot of things, any sustenance food has a lot of has carbs
you're
somewhere.
Just eating meat and nothing else, and I mean nothing else.
Yeah, veggie's gonna have
no
carbs.
no other solid food goes in your mouth except for meat. There's no way to do a no carb, and I don't think you would find any doctor anywhere in the world that would tell you no carbs is healthy. You have to have carbs for energy. You have to have carbs to repair your body, build new cells. You need carbs. Carbs have a job. You can't every one of those 3 things, protein, fat, and carbs, all have a job to do. So the trick is to eat enough to let them do their job, but not so much where you make them pass out in the hammock for the afternoon because they're too worn out. They can't do it anymore. So
exactly. Yeah.
I have no interest in. I don't think I could. I don't even think I could be part of a diet where people were watching and you were eating no carbs. That's just.
And to be honest, 80 carbs is kind of a sweet spot. I think we talk about sustainable dieting techniques, sustainable things that can lead to success. 80 carbs is kind of a great sweet spot. Listen, if you want a can of soda is about 40 carbs. It's about 40 grams of sugar. Yep. If you need that can of soda, guess what? That's not going to kill you. But on keto, you'd be out of ketosis. One can of soda puts you out of ketosis.
Right.
But you use half your carbs, guess what? You're just going to eat a lot of meat, a lot of veg for the rest of the day, and that should be fine. But if you need that soda. But otherwise, it is easier to stop drinking your calories. We talk about this all the time. Soda is pure calories in a can. It is just, I could have a drink that has no calories, tea, water, coffee. We don't really try to promote diet sodas that often. Technically, they have 0 calories. And then instead you go, I would rather have 150 calories and 40 carbs in this can. And that is, and that's coming from me, somebody who, that is my number one vice. I hope it's well documented on the show. This is the number one thing I struggle with.
Here's another option. And I found this to be the case since I stopped drinking soda with meals. Cause I wasn't a big, drink soda all day guy. That's not my jam. But I love soda with food. So, as I've weaned myself away from that, I found on the rare occasions I do drink soda, I drink much less. It tastes really sweet to me. It doesn't have the same. It's not as good. So another option would be to pour yourself half a can and have a glass of water there. Alternate drinks.
I'm almost ashamed to say it. Me and Tina have recently purchased the mini cans. I hate
those. I know. I love the concept. I hate that they're the same price.
I hate that they're the same price, and they are the same price. But man, it is like half the time. It's weird to me because as consumers, we're all about saving money, and we've talked about this on the show of getting out of that. But hell, half the time, if I have a can of soda, there's 4 ounces of soda left. I should just pour that down the drain. I don't even want to drink that soda, but I'm like, well, I paid for it. I need to drink it, or I should just pour it down because it is the same price. So technically, if on those off days that I do want the 12 ounces, technically I should buy the can. But because I have no self-control, I get the small cans, and the small cans are great for me. And I hate
7 ounces.
I hate that.
7 ounces in a small can, right?
7 or 8, yeah, something like that.
I think they're weirdly 7, but yeah, and they're almost. They may not be quite the same price.
Right.
They're within 10%, 10 or 20%.
I think Tina said they were the same price.
I'm not surprised. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
that's it helps that if you're a poker player, that helps because you realize what the term sunk cost means.
Right.
It means that money's already in the middle of the pot. It ain't coming back, but you can still cut your losses and live to play another day. And that's the way it is when you're eating food. We've talked about that before. Leaving your fries on the plate. Right. Don't fucking take them home. They're not going to be good.
Nope.
It's the same with soda. You open it, you drink a can of soda 5 hours later.
Absolutely.
The part of the soda that you really like is gone. The carbonation's gone. Now you're just drinking the shit. All that's left over is the shit. So it's not even like the joy that you get from a regular soda. So pour it out. Yeah.
I mean, hell, what? I mean, we've talked about. I mean, what was I gonna? We were talking about it today. Even. I mean, soda. If you get a soda at a restaurant, especially like sit down restaurant, that's $3 added to your meal, probably at least
minimum. Yeah, some of them are up there to $3.50, $3.99 even if you go to a decent place. Yeah, no question about it.
We were talking about that.
Your mom and I have noticed that since she's trying to quit Diet Coke, and I was trying to quit soda. We notice when we go out, all of a sudden you don't have a dessert, and you don't have sodas. All of a sudden your ticket's $15 less.
Right.
You're like, wow, how did that happen? Like, well, because you're not fucking doing all the bullshit.
Absolutely. So, okay. All that to be said. The dad diet, rating it out of 10 in these categories: cost, results, ease. We'll do an average afterwards. Cost, 7. It's about the same cost. Maybe you got to go buy. You just switch from buying your white breads to your wheat breads. You just don't get rice. Maybe I would say rice and veggies maybe cost about the same. Honestly, if you switch out the rice for the veggies. I think I went to Hawaiian Bros. And this is kind of bullshit. Honestly, at Hawaiian Bros, if you switch out the mac salad for veggie, it's like $1, which is, I'm like, come on, dude. There's no way because trust me, I've had the Hawaiian Bros vegetables enough to know those are freezer bagged vegetables. I've had freezer bagged vegetables enough to know that what they taste like and what the feel is. They're having freezer bag vegetables, and they charge me an extra $1 to not eat their mac salad, which just
That is
whatever.
Hawaiian Bros is one of the absolute sneakiest calorie places you can go to. You can have, if you have their platter, their big platter with the double portion or whatever, and you get the rice, you get the potato salad, you're going to be
It's like
somewhere
1,500
north.
calories or something.
I was
right?
going to say closer to 2,000, but
It's about
it
your
could be.
daily allowance of calories. Yeah.
And carbs is off the chart because you're
Oh,
eating
yeah.
rice and macaroni.
Yes.
So
But man,
absolutely,
and I hate it but I love that mac salad, which sucks.
it's good. It is great. It is.
So
I
good.
love Hawaiian Bros. It's just not an option. Your mom and I were sitting there one time, and I happened to put in my food. And like, oh shit, we could never ever go here again.
Yep. Definitely just go look at the nutrition chart one time, guys.
Yep, that's all I ask.
Just go look at any restaurant. A lot of them just have that nutrition card, and that'll help you look at things real quick and go, holy shit, that's off the list. That's off the list. I can't have that. That's insane. That's insane. But you will find things that you go, oh, that's surprisingly reasonable. Like when we were doing keto, I was like, man, like Tina was like, I just want like a chicken tender or something. And we'd go and we looked at like Zaxby's or Slim Chickens. And hell, one tender is like 3 carbs or 4 carbs. And it's like, okay, that's fine,
as long
you
as
know?
As long as it's naked, yeah. As long as
Yeah.
it's naked.
Right.
Okay.
So,
all right.
okay.
So here it
Cost.
is, Truman.
Oh.
If you do a double Honolulu chicken, which is what I like, 2,350 calories,
God damn.
98 grams of fat, 19 saturated.
Wait. Let me guess. I'm just gonna guess sugar because I think that's another part of this is it's tricky because it's like a teriyaki sauce.
100%.
Sugar. Give me 55 grams of sugar.
62.
Man, I
62.
can't be
That's not
upset.
bad.
Price is right. I'd be about right.
You ready for this one? It would not fit in your d.a.s.h diet. How much sodium?
Oh, God, where's that sodium coming from? I'm trying to. I guess they must be just salting the rice. I guess
The coating on the chicken.
coating on the chicken. Well, you already told me that it's over 2,300, so that sucks.
It is.
Is it 3,300?
It's 5670.
Oh my God.
2.5 days worth of sodium.
Oh my God. What's
And we're
the
ready
normal one on sodium? Just for fun.
for the half portion.
The regular portion meal.
The small, what they call is 2170. So there's a day. There's a day.
Well,
in life.
there should be a small, regular, large, right?
There's a classic.
Classic. Sorry, what's the classic at?
3,500.
God damn. Shit.
And you ready for the big closer? You ready for the headliner? How many carbs?
Carbs?
Yeah.
Fuck. I know that macaroni salad is like insane. God. 185.
Nope.
No, more than 100. 185.
287.
Oh my God. So that's over 3 days worth of carbs on the dad diet.
Yep.
Keto,
When I
that's
was-
13, 12, 12.
2.5 days of sodium, 3.5 days of carbs.
Christ.
3 days of sugar. Yeah, when I said, when I don't exaggerate when it comes to food, and when I say I can never go to Hawaiian Bros again, you just can't. You can't make that fit.
I had to stop eating it as much. I eat it again. It's one of those where I eat. There's a couple meals that I eat about once a month, once every 2 months. I'll have a Five Guys. I'll have a Hawaiian Bros. This past week I had my yearly Baconator. I eat about one Baconator a year, and it's still the best hamburger in fast food. I have no doubt of it. It's incredible. Okay. But I eat one a year, maybe. So
you so you give it a 7 on cost. It's about a push. It's about a push on cost.
Results 7. It's in the upper echelon of the diets that we've done. For the record, other diets that we've done that we gave a 7 on results. Intermittent fasting, I felt way better than I felt on intermittent fasting. Mindful eating, another 7. Mediterranean, also a 7 on results. Keto, the only thing higher than that, and it did have the benefit of also being the first diet, but I also lost like 8 pounds, like 8 or 9 pounds on it, so I can't rate it as high as an 8. So a 7 on the results, especially because it helped me break through that plateau when nothing else would. So I really appreciate that. Ease of diet, I call it an 8 on ease. Honestly, it's very easy. I would just say, it's taking off a bun here or there, switching out wheat bread.
And
Just
when he says wheat bread, it's not your standard go
no,
to the store and buy wheat bread because that's really just brown white bread.
right?
You've got to, at the very least, whole wheat flour has to be the first ingredient.
Yes,
I eat keto bread,
right.
which gives me like my bread's about 3 net carbs.
Was that almond
So
flour probably in your keto bread?
probably, yeah, I'd have to
Probably.
look. But, and what it is, it's really just for the fiber. I
Interesting.
need a ton of fiber. 35, 40 grams of fiber a day is what I shoot for.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of fiber.
It is.
We ate there's like Pepperidge Farm 7-grain bread or something like that, and it was
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
It was good. It was good bread
Yeah,
too.
solid.
Tina still buys it. That's all Tina wants to eat now. So we've
Very
at
good.
least made that switch in our diet. Body
else you got?
feel. Body feel's an 8. It's great. I feel great. This rates out to an average of 7.5, and again, the only other diets that have rated out 7.5: intermittent fasting and Mediterranean. This ties it for the lead with those 3. And I didn't even think about using mindful eating, but man, that's one of those things that I believe mindful eating on the dad diet. I mean, if you're writing a book, I think a whole chapter to mindful eating is worth a
I don't
interesting.
disagree with that. I think that's a good tool in your toolkit for whatever diet you're on.
Especially if you're going to be like kind of the diet keto, because keto recommends you to do intermittent fasting. So not only is it an insane thing that uses magical keto science to it, it also does the thing where it tells you to kind of have again. And go back and watch the intermittent fasting show, guys. I did not feel great on it, and it felt like an eating disorder when you're doing it. And I would say so. It's kind of funny that keto has all these kind of negative impacts of eating a bunch of meat and all this stuff, and you can't even really eat veggies or fruits. But then it also asks you to do intermittent fasting, which I thought felt terrible. So if you can be the to be the keto replacement for the dad diet, to then go and have a thing on mindful eating, which feels like you've unlocked a cheat code of eating, and it makes you actually think about the food and actually slow down and feel more full from the food that you're eating. Yeah.
Because you're always about 15, 20 minutes behind your body.
Yeah.
As far as feeling full. So if you stop when you start to think, like, I'm kind of getting full, that's the place to stop.
Absolutely.
I think mom tries to stop like 70%. 70% full. So,
yeah.
Again, the whole purpose of this show is to find something that is easy to do, that doesn't consume your life. You see this stuff on TikTok, these amazing changes. People that are spending 3 or 4 hours a day in the gym, they're meal prepping, all 3 meals, and they're eating, whatever. That's not necessarily realistic for everybody.
Right. Yeah, because people that are spending 3 to 4 hours in the gym, it's probably their job, because that's what they're doing. Is they're a gym influencer, and they're like, get to the gym. Motherfucker, I have a job. How did you spend 4 hours at the gym? Don't you have a job like I do?
Absolutely true. But it's kind of good that you sometimes fall down on the weekends, because that's realistic. That's what happens to real people. Real people go out to a club. Real people go out to dinner. Real people want to have a soda on Saturday every once in a while.
Real people buy pizza for their friends when they help them move, and you eat a little bit of the pizza.
Right. So, I mean, if you're sitting there, if you're watching the show going, well, Truman would just stick to the diet on the weekends, he'd probably have a lot better results. That's true, but what he's having is realistic results. We are 2 real human beings going through the ups and downs of diets, of the day-to-day, week-to-week grind. And that's what it's all about. It's really cool to watch the 2-minute transformations on TikTok or Insta or Twitter or whatever. Those are very inspiring, very cool, not realistic for the vast majority of people.
No, absolutely not.
And if you're extremely heavy,
right,
and you're planning on losing a lot of weight, slow is the way to keep excess skin to a minimum.
That's true.
That's always a problem when you have, especially once you reach a certain age and you're a certain weight, that skin, it don't snap back. So if you take it away slowly, you will have less excess at the end of your journey than if you
Right.
lost 100 pounds in 9 months.
You're going to have a little bit of excess no matter what, probably.
Right.
But,
Right.
it's stretched. It's not going to unstretch. But
Right.
you'll unstretch a little more. And you'll
It
fill,
will,
and,
it
and
will,
you'll probably fill some of it in with muscle, too.
it does. Yes, it does have a certain amount of elasticity to it. You'll have less of a problem with it than I will. But again, problem we'd all like to have.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. What I would trade, what is it, probably 10 to 20 years back on my life to just have a little bit of excess skin when I go. I think that's fine.
Right.
Yes.
So here's the deal. With this diet, it does require you to track your food. So if you're a person that doesn't like to track, that would be a reason this would not be for you, because you do have to keep track of where you are on your macros, on your calories, and just see where you are on your carbs, and you see where you are on your sugar. Now, I've gotten to the point where I could probably go a whole day and eat and not track. I know what I'm eating. I don't have a lot of variety. When I'm grinding it at home, I'm eating the same thing for breakfast every day within whatever. I might change out meat. I might trade sausage for chicken or something.
Right.
But everything's the same. My
The
lunches are
the more you do it, the
very
easier
similar.
it gets. We just
Yes.
we just did that whole kind of exercise with Hawaiian Bros, and it
Mhm.
was like, oh, I did, I could kind of guess sort of around where the sodium was going to be, sort of around where the sugar and the carbs were going to be, unless it's insane. And there's some things that you
So
learn,
what
like when you
you
track,
just
that
get
some things are
you
insane.
you just guessed high, and it ended up being insane. So
Right. Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the only. And if you're addicted to sodas, if you got to have a couple sodas a day, it's not your diet. And you know what? Ain't going to be many diets for you until you kick that habit. That's just the way it is.
Godspeed, soldier.
There's not many diets that you can
hard.
have a soda a day and still lose weight. It's just
And it's hard. We're not ragging on you. It's possible. In Albuquerque, I was one of the few people. I remember seeing this meme. Somebody was talking about COVID went on long enough that I was out of shape, got in shape, and now I'm back out of shape. I was one of those people during COVID. I was at one point I got up to running like 2 or 3 miles a day, and then I
Right.
just was like, you know what, and then I stopped doing it. But when I was doing that, I was trying to. I remember I limited during COVID. When I started, I was like I calculated my soda intake for like the week, and I was at like 200 ounces a week, which was a fair amount. About basically a Quick Trip soda a week or a
16
day.
16 cans a day, basically. I mean, 16 cans a week.
Yeah,
So,
just
yeah,
about. So
not
I
ideal.
so what I limited down to 100 ounces, and even that is like looking back on that now, I'm like, oh, that's probably why I wasn't super successful, is because I was still doing a can of soda a day.
Right.
And
Right.
I remember Papa, our grandpa. Hey, nice little shout out here on not our grandpa, my grandpa, your father. But
Right.
nice little shout out here on Father's Day. But I remember him talking about he was reading a study in the newspaper, and he was a big anti-soda guy. Loved iced tea, especially unsweet iced tea. Really, honestly, probably hated sweet tea.
Yeah, he put just enough, like equal.
Yeah, sweet
in
and
it
low.
to,
Yep.
Sweet and low. I couldn't the pink one. He
Yep, the
put
pink
just
one.
enough, as he described it. I put just enough in there to make you wonder why I'm putting it in there. Because he could use, and he would save them. He
Yep.
could use like a pack of Sweet and Low would last him like 3 or 4 servings.
Right. Yeah. But
So he was always on you about the soda, and he got to a point
Yep.
where you guys have got to dinner a lot and breakfast. He wouldn't buy you soda. He
No,
wouldn't buy you fucking soda.
you say you can have it on sweet tea, but you can't have. And and one of those things where you look back on it, you're like, why would I do that? But I ran some tricks where at one of the restaurants had raspberry tea, and that was
Yeah.
sweet raspberry tea. So it's basically drinking a soda. But I was like, this is tea. And then every now and again, he'd be like, oh well, here, let me have one. Let me try your raspberry tea today. And he'd have it. He's like, God damn it, it's a soda. and then I'd go back to drinking unsweet iced tea. But to his credit, he was, again, we talk about this, and people in our life, were on health things, and for whatever reason we don't listen to them. Mom was on things. Papa had the anti-soda thing before it was cool, and it was absolutely correct. You should not be having sodas. And
mom was anti-diet soda 15, 20 years ago.
right.
He said,
and
"I'm
that's
trying to reach
still
your body." Oh yes, it's
Yeah.
just become more mainstream. We've talked about this every episode.
Yes.
How my wife, your mom, has been on the cutting edge of so many of this stuff, and
Right.
you look around at you and me going, "Okay,
well, all right." Yeah. So
it didn't take,
but
so we listened, honey. We listened. We're finally. It just took us a minute to get the train started, but we're finally incorporating all of the good information. So,
but I would say start with tea. Maybe put in a cube of sugar or enough sugar that you enjoy it, and maybe just slowly work that back. Something, because it's something where you can work your way back slowly. And soda is also one of those things where maybe you start and I would maybe, if you're drinking, again, 200 ounces, like I said I was drinking, maybe cut that back to 150. Maybe 100 ounces, now 50 ounces, maybe, and then you switch to unsweet tea, and you're adding sugar.
Yep.
Then you're adding less sugar, then you're adding just a touch, maybe even none. Like nowadays, I don't even like sweet tea. I'd rather have unsweet tea.
Something that I will tell you that is helpful. We talked about it a little bit in different contexts before. Always order a water when you're out to dinner. Always order a water with your soda. Just remember, when you get that food, every drink of water you take is one less sip of sugar, 3 less grams of sugar probably that's going into your body.
Right.
So,
and I've run into that before where I've realized I was
have
thirsty.
soda, man. If you got to have soda, get a water at the same time and pat yourself on the back for a fucking victory every time you take a drink of that water instead of reaching for the Coke.
Absolutely. Right. And I would say when those drinks arrive, start off drinking the water, because a lot of the time you're just thirsty. You're just thirsty for a sip of water. Drink that water, drink half of it, and then think about drinking your soda while you're there.
If you're thirsty, soda don't help.
No, it don't. No, it doesn't.
It's a diuretic.
Absolutely.
All right, very good.
So Scott, the dad diet, I'd rank it up there with some of the top diets that we've had. And I think when we build the base of the 2 fat guys in a dream diet, that I'll be on it for a month here and starting in about a month, I think it's going to be a strong base for sure.
Very good. Very good. All right, so what are you rolling out this week, my friend?
We're doing a low-fat diet. And honestly, Scott, it is hard to find diets because, the cat's out of the bag just a little bit. It's hard to find specific diets just for limiting fat. But you can find guidelines for diets for lowering low cholesterol and low saturated fats. So that's what we'll kind of focus on here, especially saturated fat. Listen, as a general rule of thumb, any fat that has a name before it is probably a worse fat. Saturated fat, what is it? Polysaturated fat. What?
Jimmy fat, George fat.
Yeah,
name
yeah.
before it.
Trans fat obviously are the worst.
Saturated fat, polyunsaturated fat are the 2 things you want to stay away from.
Yes, and trans fats are the worst thing, but luckily as a society we've kind of moved away. Yeah.
They've been made illegal in most things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, one of the things they act very quickly on. Yes.
What's that?
Very few trans fats. So, if I remember right, I can't remember all the math, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 grams of fat, 40 to 50 is probably what you're going to shoot for. You're going to shoot for about 20 to 25% of your calories to come from fat.
Yeah.
So again, with MyFitnessPal, even the free version, you can plug your own percentages in, and it will give you the number.
Right. So there's some guidelines for limiting fats. We've got limited total intakes of fats and oils, obviously. Avoid butter, stick margarine, shortening, lard, palm, and coconut oils. Basically all of those. Any butter is just basically pure fat.
Coconut oil, any kind of seed oils or shit.
Yes.
Rapeseed oil, or as they call it here in this country, canola, is shit.
I've never known what canola oil was, honestly.
Worst rapeseed, worst name ever. Worst name ever.
I thought you were saying grapeseed, and I heard you say so I did hear that right, and then I was like, I guess I just missed the G at the beginning there.
Nope. Rapeseed oil is another name for canola.
Jesus Christ.
Margarine, shortening.
I guess that's why it's called canola oil.
Those are horrible made-up fats that should never be fucking eaten. Those are polyunsaturated to the hilt. No diet. Should you eat margarine or shortening?
Yes, and limiting fats and oils will always lead you into this next point of limiting mayonnaise, salad dressing, gravies, and sauces, unless they are homemade with low-fat ingredients, and very few are. Mayonnaise is basically, for people who don't know, that's just eggs and oil just spun really quickly, and then it thickens up enough. Salad dressings are all almost
egg yolks and oil, by the way, not just a whole egg. Egg yolks.
Right.
Yes.
I guess that's fair. Yeah. Salad dressings, a lot of them are going to be oil-based or cream-based. Neither of them are great. Those cream-based is probably pretty heavy on the fats.
And man, there is a wide variety of nutritional information on salad dressings.
Yep.
Some
absolutely.
of them are relatively good. Some of them are terrible. If you ever look at like dipping sauces at, say, Chick-fil-A or something like that, some of them will have 45, 60 calories. Some will have 250.
Yep.
So all dipping sauces are not created equal.
As a ranch lover, I can tell you 2 tablespoons of ranch is, I believe, 140 calories, and not very good for you. So
and also not very nice.
And that's the issue. I love sauces, man. And ranch, just any ranch, just boom, 150, probably 300 calories added to your meal every time you order on the side. Gravies and sauces. Gravy is basically just fat and flour, typically. So that's how you make a roux to make gravy. So,
yeah, you add your milk or cream after you've made your roux and stir it, and you stir and stir, and you go, well, this is too thin. This is too thin, and it'll if you do it right, when it starts to boil, it'll convert, and you'll get your thick gravy. So.
Right. We want to limit chocolate. We're going to try to choose low-fat, non-fat products. There's low-fat mayonnaise. We're going to use vegetable oil. No, it says use vegetable oils such as canola oil or olive oil, which is, again, we're not going to use canola oil. We'll be trying to stick to olive oil. And honestly, we're going to try to stay away from olive oils or oils in general.
That's very good. That's very good.
Use nuts in moderate amounts. Nuts are fatty, but they kind of, I think in the past we've kind of learned that they're kind of, it's not bad fats, but we're on
they're in the avocado family.
Right.
Which is high fat, but it's good fat. It's your mono unsaturated fat. It's the good kind of fat that your body needs to operate. But for our purposes, all fats are fats.
Yeah, and we'll have to avoid the thing that this is probably my hardest one. Soda is always the hardest, but the second hardest one to avoid is high-fat processed and convenience foods. I love a taquito on the roller. I like the convenience of picking up a McDonald's cheeseburger. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to choose fish, chicken, turkey, and lean meats. Mm-hmm. So again, probably any burger that you're eating out is probably out. Most burgers... the good ones, at least, are 85, 15, 90, 10. Or sorry.
You're not getting...
I'm going the wrong way. Sorry, 70, 30. Sorry.
Yeah, 70, 30, 73, 27. That's the kind of what you're going to get at a restaurant.
Sorry. I turned off my brain. I went the wrong way. Sorry. Yes.
Yep.
What you do want is 90, 10 if you're going to eat... if you're going to try to eat ground beef, but probably I'd recommend staying away from ground beef. Use dry beans, peas, lentils, and tofu. Limit egg yolks to 3 or 4 per week. That's an interesting thing, staying away from eggs. If you eat red meat, limit to no more than 3 servings per week and choose loin or round cuts. Avoid fatty meats, such as bacon, sausage, Frank's, luncheon meats, and ribs. Yep. Avoid all organ meats, including liver. I don't eat the organ meats. I just
do my best. You don't eat organ meats? That's awful. Do you get that joke? You get that joke?
I felt it was a joke, and I could not. I do not get it.
It's another name for organ meats. Awful. OFFAL.
Oh, that is funny. Okay. Well, now I get it.
Damn it. You know what the old man used to say? If you got to explain them, boy, they ain't good jokes.
Choose non-fat or low-fat milks. Scott, this is maybe a controversial take. I know that many people have turned back around on not doing things like skim milk, but we grew up in a skim milk household. I imagine you still drink skim milk?
I do not drink milk at all, but if I do, I drink skim milk.
Interesting.
I've not bought a milk in half a gallon of milk in 2 years probably.
Because of my roommates. What?
Oh. You know what I use milk for, Truman?
Cereal.
I poured on my cereal. Exactly
Yeah,
right.
right.
Guess what
Yeah.
I ain't eating? Not a
Cereal.
lot of Captain Crunch, Crunch Berry. By God, is there anything better than fucking sweet cereal?
Oh man.
Crunch Berries, Count Chocula, all that shit, man. But
Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs, Cinnamon Toast
kill it.
Crunch. Yeah.
Cocoa Puffs. Here's the thing:
Just
if you
start
have a
mixing them
breakfast like
together.
that,
Yeah.
if you get one of those, a big bowl of cereal, and you have a couple pieces of toast, maybe a glass of orange juice, that's a breakfast for a lot of people. And guess what you are in about 2 hours? Fucking
Hungry
hungry
again.
again. You're hungry again because
Which
it
is
does.
crazy because it was pure carbs anyways.
Yeah, no nutritional value. So you get that buzz, you get that carb buzz, you get that sugar buzz. Like, fuck, I'm never eating anything except Crunch Berries ever again in my life.
Right.
And then about half an hour later, you're like, oh my God, this is dreadful. And I'm starving. So that's the, 'cause I used to, on my way to work, I used to stop and get a McDonald's breakfast. I'd get Egg McMuffin, 2 hash browns, and an unsweetened iced tea. About 600 calories. Not a terrible breakfast, but I'd be hungry in 2 hours. I'd be hungry, and I get up now, and I have 2 eggs plus some egg whites, meat, cheese, peppers, onions, a little cilantro, a little green onion. I'll mix it and a couple pieces of keto bread with a little smear of cream cheese. And dude, I have breakfast at 10 in the morning. I'm not hungry again until 6. I can go till 5 or 6 without even thinking about eating anything else.
I've been on TikTok doing some of those high protein, low carb, high protein, low calorie, low carb things. And I remember I made it was like an Egg McMuffin with like 95.5 or 90.10 ground beef and like 2 pieces of like Canadian bacon or like ham essentially, and then cheese, and it was on English muffin. I remember I ate it at like 9 o'clock, and I remember not being hungry till like 3 or 4, and I was like, I have a lunch to eat. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Very different.
Speaking of cheese, most cheeses are high in fat. We're going to try to choose cheeses made from non-fat milk, such as like mozzarella and ricotta cheeses are.
Your white cheese is the only shot you got there.
Yep.
By the way, I wanted to go back to the salad dressing thing real quick. My mom taught me a trick. I think she learned it at Weight Watchers.
Okay.
It's the dipping your fork in dressing. When you're eating a salad, you dip your fork in dressing.
Yep.
You get some dressing on the side, obviously, and that way you get some dressing with every bite of salad. But at the end of the day, at the end of your meal, you find that you've used about 65 to 75% less. If you start with a ramekin regular salad, you'll have most of that ramekin still left. So that's a great trick for low fat to get a little your dressing that you like. You don't have to limit it and still do it that way.
Fair. Vegetables, we're going to try to eat a wide variety of breads. Again, it mentions whole grain options. I believe most diets, honestly, these days should just tell you to do whole grains. We're going to avoid high-fat snack foods such as granola, which is a weird one to start off with, but also cookies, pies, pastries, donuts, and croissants. Hey, if you like cookies, pies, pastries, donuts, and croissants, there's not going to be many diets that are for you besides maybe intermittent fasting, and that's still not very fun. So guilty of enjoying all those things.
You are, and everybody's looking for that perfect. Here's the perfect diet, Truman. I want to do exactly what I'm doing, not increase my activity. I want to eat the same as I'm eating, and I want to lose weight.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. How can we get that done for me? Yeah.
Yes. That's the book that'll sell 1 million copies right there. My new diet, don't change a fucking thing. Think yourself thin. Unfortunately, like you said, there is not a lot of room in any diet. Snickers bars, Twinkies, cake. You just can't. Now, you want to bite? You want to split one with somebody every once in a while? Knock yourself out.
Absolutely.
We've talked this before. We think it's very important when you start a diet, you not say, I can never, ever do this again. Now, this is an interesting show to say that on after I talk to you. I can never go back to Hawaiian Bros. But it's like you don't want to start like a keto. Like, well, I'm starting keto, so I know I can never have another soda ever in my life. That's not fucking realistic. I love
keto is not a forever diet. It just simply can't be.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with keto is a lot of people they're like, well, I did keto for 4 weeks. All right, I'm done doing keto. And a lot of people just go back to eating, maybe even worse than they were before.
I lost 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Yeah, and how are you 6 weeks later? I put 35 on. Okay.
Yeah, I put 40 pounds back in 5 weeks. Yeah, okay. Well, all right then.
By the way, that's terrible for your body.
Yes.
You might as well. It is healthier to stay fat than it is to yo-yo.
Yep, that's fair.
But you got to you got to take your body along on the journey. You can't fuck up. You can't just confuse your body all the time. So
absolutely.
Anyway, so
that's basically it. We're gonna avoid deep fried foods also.
Sure,
but I figured that was
obvious. I mean, most Americans know how to eat low fat because it was it was the thing for 20 years from early 80s to early 2000s. Atkins tried to sneak in there, and everybody went, "Ah, fuck you! It's all about the fat." Well, Atkins actually ended up being pretty close to right. He was a lot closer to right than the low fat people were.
He probably went a little too far too fast, where people were. He wasn't like, hey, maybe we should limit our sugars and carbs, and people were like, no, that would have been maybe a little more. But instead, it became popular and probably got demonized again by certain industries. They're like, you're just eating hot dogs. That's all you eat is raw hot dogs. That's what I remember the Atkins diet being, is just people eating hot dogs. That's what I remember it for, and that's how it was portrayed in media and things like that.
Now, see, I remember because you could eat all your breakfast stuff. You could fry your eggs in butter, and you could have bacon with it and everything, and you're like, har, 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 har. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna find out. This is kind of a throwback. This is a little. This is fresh out of about 1993. A little T factor, a little low fat diet thing.
And to be fair, we saw some of our major hitters that we see on a lot of diets that are good for stay away from your red meats, choose whole grains, don't add butter to food. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, I guess all these things make sense. And there is luckily we've gotten smarter as a society about a lot of these things, that it's harder. It isn't like nicotine where they've just turned it into flavored pods now, and now people are back to being addicted to nicotine. Those crafty bastards. Yeah, there you go. But
no longer smoke though.
Hey, that's simply better. To be fair, to get away from the tar. But besides the fact, but all that stuff is just luckily they haven't found their way to redo it yet. But you find there's people talking about new ways to develop eating disorders, essentially about juice cleanses, juice fast, water fast, all this stuff. There's guys taking creatine and steroids but it's different. It's cool now. I can't get all behind that now, but it's whatever.
Guys, so think about before you start any plan. Think about the sustainability. Can I do this for a month? Can I do it for 6 months? Can I do it? Can I do it for the rest of my life? Can I do maybe a modified version? But you can't lose 150 pounds on keto and then fucking start eating normal again. You maybe have a maintenance version of keto that you get a little more freedom, but that's your life, man. And if that doesn't appeal to you, maybe
then don't
there's some people that's right in their fucking wheelhouse. There's nothing I like better than a steak with butter, a cheeseburger. I don't care about the bun. My dad was that way. He'd fucking
hamburger steak.
Love hamburger something. Steak. He'd take out the extra bun.
Yeah.
That was his favorite thing: a hamburger steak with mushroom gravy. He didn't get shit about the bun. So
that bun's doing nothing in there for you. To be fair,
it isn't. It's empty goddamn any kind of bread. Any kind of bread you get at a restaurant, it's shit. Just know it.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to some artisan place and they tell you it's from a local 7-grain, but 99% of the bread you're going to get is shit.
Yeah, if you're in fast food, if it's any amount of chain, trust me, it's the cheapest, fastest way to make that bread.
Cheddar Bay biscuits at fucking Red Lobster. God,
so good, man. Damn. Yeast rolls, Texas Roadhouse. We don't need to talk about it.
Good stuff.
All right. So that about does it. That's the introduction to our low-fat diet. We'll, kind of move on here. We'll do our shout-outs. We'll wrap it up. Guys, thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you for being here. Again, if you're on the YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe. You got one thing to add? You got something to add?
I do. Do you have your parameters for you're stick with 1,800 calories?
I think I'll try to stick to 1,800 calories. I don't have, I guess, a goal to be shooting for. But
I'm gonna guess once you play around with it, it's going to be somewhere in the 40 to 50 range.
That sounds right. Yeah,
maybe a little lower. Maybe it'll be in 30 to 40. But yeah.
We'll
So,
definitely
yeah,
we'll adjust the macros over there on my
you
fitness
were on
pal.
the runway, you're revving up the engines, and I jumped out in front of the plane. So
No,
go
you're
ahead.
good. No, you're good.
Go,
No,
go ahead and take off, baby.
that was important. That's important to do.
Well,
Yeah,
because we usually talk about the parameters and we talk about the numbers and stuff when we
right.
introduce a diet. So I was just curious if you, but it's
And
going to be somewhere between 30 and 50. I'd almost
Right.
guarantee it.
And as we've outlined before, that is important for me. The structure, the limits. I do not do good on a general. This is the vibe of things you're trying to avoid.
As long as you eat at 6 o'clock, you can eat anything you want to.
Yes.
No.
I'm
fucking.
I'm an ADHD person. It's a whole family of ADHD people. We need structure. We need plans. We need something that I'm goal driven. I'm all sorts of stuff. So that's what I need. I definitely need to make sure I have a number for the fat. Okay. So that being said, I'm goal driven. Hey guys, we're almost up to 50 subscribers over there on the YouTube. Not insane, but I do like that. I do like how much we've increased over here in the bit. So yeah, Open Disaster Productions on YouTube. If you're listening to Spotify or Apple, we'd appreciate you guys liking us over there. Hey, if you guys are listening on the YouTube, we'd like you to go over there to Apple and Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Put a sign in your yard. Do whatever. Tell your mom about it. Tell your friends about it. Hey, I'm starting to work out, dude. I've been listening to this, and honestly, I think they have some interesting takes. You don't even have to say it's good. Just tell them interesting takes, and we appreciate it.
I would rather have, and this sounds like some bullshit that a podcaster would say, but it's absolutely true. I would rather have one person who improved their life, who made a change, who got one piece of information that they could fucking use to better their life. I'd rather have one person like that than 100 people that just listen for the fucking laughs. And don't get me wrong, love the people that tune in just to be entertained. We try to be funny, and we have some fun. We just riff. So if you're getting some laughs out of it, great. But
Appreciate it.
we want to inspire people. We want to make you think differently about what you've tried in the past. Maybe give us some insight why it hasn't worked, why it didn't work for you, why this is working. So if we can educate and inspire somebody, one person, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's a great show. I don't care.
That's good
I don't
enough
care.
for
We're
me.
not in this for money.
Nope.
We're not in this to fucking make a fortune.
We've got jobs outside of this.
If I end up writing a book, I know books don't sell. No, I'm not gonna fucking make any money doing it.
Right,
But
sure.
if I can get this knowledge and improve my life that dramatically, I feel morally obligated to share that information with my fellow human beings. If I can
Absolutely.
inspire the fattest country in the world, if I can inspire 2 people to fucking lose some weight, that's a good day for me.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to follow us on other socials, we're over there on. I'm on TikTok and Twitter at @steehn. Scott's over there on Twitter at @steehn. I think that's about it. Again,
Yeah,
I'll try to keep on staying out of the political stuff, but the Pride Month stuff, people hating on Pride Month keeps on bringing me into the political stuff, so I keep on doing it.
I don't understand with why I'm concerned with who my neighbor's fucking. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't care what they're having for dinner. I don't care what kind of car they drive. I don't care what you're doing in your bedroom. I don't give a shit. I don't care. It's not my fucking business. I don't care.
Honestly, if it's making them happy, absolutely. I'm happy that you're happy. That's great. Why would I care?
You get joy and guidance from reading your book. Great. I don't. Just don't impose it on me. Let me do whatever I want to do. I don't care.
Right.
And
Yep.
I in turn will let you do whatever you want to do. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's what I've pride.
That's where we're at. All right. Appreciate everybody for being here. I think that's it. Scott, you got anything to add?
I don't. I hope everybody. I know this is after the fact, but I hope everybody did have a good Father's Day for those of whom it applies. And we love doing the show, man. Definitely check us out. Rate and review. Like Truman said, if you're a YouTube watcher, hey man, give us a pop on Spotify on the and don't listen to the show twice. That's stupid. But just give us a little fucking open and show that you clicked in. It makes a difference.
Right. Exactly.
And because it's one of those things where once you start rolling, it tends to pick up steam. So, I say that I want to touch one person. Ideally, we'd have 10,000 listeners, and we could touch 100 people or 1,000 people every week.
Right.
So I'd like to scale it. Having said all that, I'd like to scale and be able to reach more people. So do tell your friends if you think it'd be something they would like, think it'd be something they get some knowledge out of. Please share it with your friends and your family.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. And again, yes, shout out to all the fathers out there. Happy Father's Day. Scott, happy Father's Day. You guys don't hear this, but on most times I try to do it before the show. I do tell Scott that I love him because he is my father. Dad, I love you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Thank you very much. Oh, I want to show off my shirt real quick. This is from a buddy of mine who does, I believe, listens to the show. It's the cool picture of Lenny Dawson at halftime, smoking a cigarette and drinking a Fresca. That came to me courtesy of my buddy down in Texas, Bronco Devil. So Bronco, if you're listening, aka Paul, appreciate it. I wear it every fucking day. I wear it every cycle. It's right in with my cycle, and I wore it to a special occasion today for my Father's Day lunch. So, nice. shout out to Bronco. Anyway,
and as always, we appreciate all the dreamers, the believers, the fat guys, and even Paul for being here. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Go lose some weight. Have a great week, everybody.
Absolutely,
Take care.
Absolutely.